Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to make your first million? And today we have Michael joining from Australia, the founder of Leverage Connection. So Michael, tell us, what are the 5 steps to make your first million?
Hey, Harry, so good to be with you. Let's dive straight into it. I actually believe, and probably because this is what we do an awful lot around leverage connections, you've got to firstly build a network. You've got to have people around you who can actually help you to be able to open doors and pass your referrals and to be able to team up with so that you can actually grow your client base. Otherwise, you're having to do everything yourself. So I reckon step number 1, start building a great network. Step number 2, serve more people. The more people you help, the more people will A, pay you, but B, talk about you, be a raving fan of you, which just keeps tumbling, and before you know it, you just have more and more and more people you get to help. Step 3, you just got to take action every single day. You just got to take action, get exposure, get yourself seen, get yourself heard, get in front of people. But at the same time, when we say take action, it's not about selling to every single person you come across. I changed the word selling to serving. Like, find out how you can help them. Find out what you can do for them. Find out what doors you can open for them. And the more you do that, the more people will actually want to help you back. And there's no faster way of being able to grow a business than having more than just yourself doing all the work. So step number 3, take action, get yourself exposure, get yourself seen every single day. Step 4, you're going to start systemizing things. It's not about building big teams and having to use lots of automation, but when you bring people into a sales call or a sales presentation, you need to start doing it exactly the same way. You need to be able to have systems that in the end you might be able to hand off to somebody else to be able to run for you. So as you grow, start systemizing. And I think the last one is put things on as regularly as possible for people to be able to come and start to get to know you, like you, trust you. So like Harry does here, he has podcasts all the time that you get to continue to deepen the relationship with him. As we do, we run masterclasses online on Zoom every 2 weeks. It allows people to come and get to know us and therefore like us and therefore trust us, and then be able to go, you know what, I actually think they might be able to help us. So that's the 5th step to me. Regularly put things on that you can invite people to so they can learn how you can make their life better. To me, you do those 5 things regular basis, it won't be long before you're really growing that business.
That's fantastic, Michael. And tell us a little bit about how you decide to become an entrepreneur. What happened?
Yeah, so I sort of go, there's the before 2009 story, and then there's the after 2009 story. So before 2009, I was a high school maths teacher, primary school teacher, elite level basketball coach. Been to 2 Olympics as an assistant coach to the Australian women's program.
Really? Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Coached over in the US at University of North Carolina with the Tar Heels as an assistant coach to the women's program, University of Hawaii. That's what I thought life would be. I just thought I would teach and I would be able to coach at elite sports. Needed to leave University of Hawaii. We had a family member become ill, which brought us back to Australia. But in 2009, started teaching again. And within a few months, there's got to be something more. I'm sick of the lazy teachers. It was like, give me my kids, leave me alone, and we're good. Tell me to turn up to staff meetings so you can hear your own voice, and we're not good. So that was the turning point. And so we started the first business in 2009, which was around creating websites and helping people with technology. From there, that grew to the second business, which was a little health product that we teamed up with about 400 personal trainers who would on-sell that health product for us. We did exactly the same thing with mineral makeup and skincare. That led us to a big marketing agency, which we sold in 2013, which then led us to teaching service professionals how to be able to get more referrals, use their networks better, and be able to create a client base through strategic partnerships. And we've been doing this for the last 11 years.
Wow. Let's talk about strategic partnership, because this is one of the fastest way of growing business, and very few people talk about it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you guys actually make a business out of a very powerful tool, because what is your problem is not a problem for somebody else. And sometimes in business, sometimes we have the product, but if we can partner with someone that have all the clients, the whole group can grow, right? And then tell us, Michael, what's the definition of a strategic partner?
Yeah, so I suppose I looked at our client base, which were all service professionals. So coaches, as well as consultants and people in HR and IT and web and marketing and accountants and bookkeepers and graphic designers, everyone who provides a service. And we kept looking and went, you know what? People aren't going on to Google or Facebook or Instagram to go, who's going to be my next accountant? Who can I trust with my books? They get that through referrals or word of mouth. They go to their networks and they say, oh, I'm looking for my bookkeeper. Do you know somebody? The only problem is, for most service professionals, they're great at what they do, but they're hopeless at getting themselves seen and heard. So the easiest way for them to be able to do that is to team up with other people who have the same sort of clientele that they do. So the bookkeeper should be teaming up with a web developer, with a graphic designer, with an accountant, with a HR person, with a digital marketing person, with a business coach, because they all service exactly the same sort of clientele. So in the end, it's about teaching people, well, how do you deepen those relationships? Because for most people, they go, oh, okay, great, I'll just team up with them and I'll sit there and I'll ask them for business and hopefully they'll give me business. Well, unfortunately, wrong mindset. And that tended to be the problem that our people had when they first came to us. They thought that just simply by teaming up with them, that those people would pass them business. So we know that the more you help someone, the more
is more deep than that, because it's an element of trust, and an element like, if you refer someone to somebody else and they don't do a good job, then you also lose this client yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And so that's where my study in human behavior and brain chemicals and neuroscience and, well, what is it that creates trust? Trust is just the word. Trust, it doesn't mean anything at all. It's just simply a word. It's actually oxytocin. That's the brain chemical that we have between two people. So two people that like each other have a flood of oxytocin going through each other's brains, and that's the feeling they get to, oh, you know what? I just felt like I could trust you. And it's exactly that part of the brain. It's a part of the brain which is feeling-based. It doesn't actually understand language or words. So when people started understanding that, to be able to build trust and to be able to get referrals from people and to be able to team up from people sort of just happened instantly. And it was just like, oh, wow, this is just completely different to how I would go across, where I would go, hi, I'm Michael. Nice to meet you, Harry. You're a graphic designer. I'm a business coach. We have the same sort of clients. Can you pass me referrals? And it's just like, no, it's not the thing we should be doing. So that's about creating
these win-win situations, right?
Exactly. And for a lot of people, they think they're creating win-win situations. They're not. They don't actually understand that they're not. So, yeah, we've had a lot of fun in being able to teach our people how to be able to do that really efficiently.
How to structure a solid and long-term strategic partnership, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And can you help them? Can you source also those strategic partners for companies?
Yeah, we can. But in the end, what we've moved ourselves to, and we've built software over the last few years to plug into a person's LinkedIn profile so that they can start connecting themselves to the ideal people they want in their network.
Wow.
They can start being more front of mind. They can start engaging with their network, in which right now, I'm talking to you, Robot Michael over on my LinkedIn is doing all of that for me this morning. And when I look at my LinkedIn messages, I'm going to have all these messages to be able to go back to and talk to people about how we might be able to do things together and how we might be able to create opportunities and cross-promote each other and share each other and all that fun stuff, which helps grow business.
Yeah. And why do you think that in the entrepreneur world, such a powerful tool and solution, which is strategic partnership, why not too many people are talking about this? What do you think is missing?
I think we're taught when we start business that go out there and find clients, go out there and make sales, go out there and it's about you doing everything. And therefore we fall in that trap that, hold on, it's up to me to do everything. We're also, there's this myth out there also that you've got to do it yourself. People can't be trusted. Like, it's a really sad way to think if
you're in business, right?
Yeah, because there's no fastest way to grow a business than just simply leveraging your networks. And every single person wants exactly the same thing. Like, Harry puts on a podcast because he wants exposure. He wants to get seen. So straight away, what's one thing that Michael can do to help Harry? As soon as the podcast is ready, let me share it as often as I can to as many people as I can and expose Harry to as many people as I possibly can. Like, that should be the thinking, because I know the other person is probably going to do exactly the same thing if you think like that to start with. And I feel like for a lot of people, unfortunately, they haven't been taught that that actually is the way to think in business. And when you look at the top few percent of people, they've always grown their business through other people. And even to this day, when people, especially throughout the US, call it affiliate marketing. Well, no, all it is just leveraging into someone else's network. That's all it is. And how you do
You can
that,
call it whatever you want, but this is what it is.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's the fastest way to be able to bring people you don't know into your world. And the majority of the time, I like putting up an ad somewhere where you're hoping the right people find that ad. When you go through somebody in your network that you know have the exact clients you want, you know you're targeting exactly the right people. So it just makes a lot more sense to do it like that.
Yeah. And then is this element of how to create a win-win, because in the end, this is what, because when the strategic partnership works, it becomes really, really powerful for both companies. And at some point, even those companies can even merge, right? This sometimes that's how good this partnership work. And but sometimes it's really difficult, especially how you approach, for example, in a small company that have a good product, that it needs a strategic partner, which is a large company, right, that have a lot of clients, and there is a way to structure the win-win situation for both companies. However, the small always find it challenging to bring the right people on the table from the bigger company to start the conversation. Any tip that you can give to entrepreneurs out there, how they can access?
I think the first thing to realize is that any strategic partnership only occurs because of a relationship. So I might be a small little business and I want to get into, say, Walmart, right? Big organization. And I'm thinking, oh, how do I get into Walmart? But what I'm thinking is Walmart as an organization. There's actually a person in Walmart who's in charge of partnerships. And I just have to see that person as a person, right? They have things that they have to achieve in their day. They probably have KPIs also. They have someone that they have to answer to. They have roadblocks. They have challenges. They have exactly the same as what I've got. And as soon as I start actually seeing that there's actually a person in that organization, and that's the relationship I need. I'm not trying to get a relationship with Walmart. I'm trying to get a relationship with Gene Smith, who's in charge of partnerships. So once I think I start by simply narrowing it down to, you know what, it's just another human. Humans are meant to connect. It's how we're growing up in caveman days in tribes. So we all have this need for connection. And then the second part is, don't go in there with the focus on, I want my stuff in Walmart. Go in there with the focus on just
how can you help Walmart? How can you help them?
Exactly.
What are you bringing to a table?
You start the relationship, find out about the person. There's no faster way to deepen a relationship than to be personal, not business, on a personal level. And then from there, see how you can help them. And now you might not be able to, they might say, oh, we've got this logistics problem. And you might have no clue about logistics whatsoever. But then you look back through your network, and you might look at your LinkedIn and you go, oh, I've actually got a logistics person in my network. Maybe I can introduce them to one another because they might actually be able to solve that problem. As soon as you help them in one way, all of a sudden, they'll do absolutely anything for you also. So I think so much of the problems people face is just simply because of the way they think. And if they just change,
they go with the wrong mindset, right?
Exactly. And you just change the thinking to, okay, who do I need to start the relationship with? It's always a person. It's never an organization. How do I deepen the relationship with that person? Find commonalities. And then how do I help that person in some way? And you won't know the answer to that until you actually ask them. So if I've just come across and I've just met Harry, one of the first things I'm saying is, so Harry, what can I do to help you? And Harry might not even know the answer to that question at the moment. Right? But just simply by going, hey, whenever you need anything at all, I might not be able to help you, but I might know someone who can. Just shout out, just let me know. Now, straight away, that creates a good brain chemical, dopamine and oxytocin, between us. And it's these brain chemicals that happen between us which create trust, bond, connection. And that's what you need in any partnership for the partnership to be successful.
And this is when the magic happens, because this and as in my journey as an entrepreneur, right? Sometimes you have a huge challenge, you have a big problem, and you don't know how to solve this problem. And this problem is huge for you, but what is a problem for you is not a problem for somebody else. And what it comes easy to you, maybe it could be challenging for somebody else. So making a strategic partnership is like alliance the strengths of the partnership, so everybody can focus in what they do best, and both company benefits. Now, do you think that your experience in coaching and in sports have been a big contribution as in your journey as an entrepreneur? What did you learn from the sport that actually you still use it as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think coaching and teaching are fairly similar. You got to be really good people. You got to understand people. You got to find how you can have someone do the thing you want them to do, and that's the joys of influence. And even I go right now, and little one who's 11, who's right into her sports, and I want her to be able to achieve something. And if I just went straight up and went, Sophie, I need you to do this, she won't do it. But by making it her idea, or by planting seeds, or by deepening a bond in some way, making it fun, it's no different to any human in terms of what will actually make humans do things. And we all need the brain chemical of dopamine, which is fun, and why do some people love sun and other people love the cold, and some people love snow, and some people love waterfalls, and some people love the ocean, and because it gives them dopamine, it gives them these little hits of dopamine. We all need that. And the wonderful thing is, as humans, we can actually create dopamine in other people. Like, that's amazing that if you focused on how do I just make someone feel? How can I make someone feel warm and fuzzy towards me? How can I make someone feel like they can trust me? They feel a bond with me. They feel a connection with me. And I think that that's probably a big part that both teaching and coaching has probably taught me in terms of why we're so good at being able to do those sorts of things. And that just sets your thinking up, because you've gone from ever thinking about what's in it for me or how's this going to help me to just simply, how do I make the other person feel? And I look at so many emails that people write, and it's just like, you just don't even realize you're shooting yourself in the foot by just a couple of little words that you're using, which is making that person have cortisol. That's the negative brain chemical. That's the one we want to avoid at all costs. Cortisol we need for survival, but we don't want to create it in the other people, especially if you want that person to be a referral source, to be your next client, to be able to help you with something. You've got to be creating the good brain chemicals. So I think that's the big thing that I've been able to carry over.
Yeah, usually people always say, that your net worth is your net worth, right? And every entrepreneurs out there, sometimes what they do, they start the business at the beginning and they have to wear all the hats, and they still don't have the knowledge of what, to be honest, sorry, to be honest, when I started my first business, I didn't even have a clue what a strategy partnership was. I didn't even know that exists. However, it's a really, really powerful resource for people to grow the business. And so what is a way that we can raise more awareness and people understand and learn more about the power, because that's the word, the power of strategic partnerships in growing your business faster?
Yeah, I think the opportunities, they're just everywhere. Like, everyone's on a social platform. I don't care which one you're on, but everyone that you have on that social platform is part of your network. Everyone you have in your CRM is part of your network. Everyone you have in your phone is part of your network. And when you see them as part of your network rather than your next sale, things completely change for you. So that's a tweak that people need to make, because not everybody is ready to buy from you. But that doesn't mean they can't open doors for you. That doesn't mean they can't promote you. It doesn't mean they can't share you. So when you treat people as, this is just someone in my network versus how do I sell to this person, then you're going to create a lot more opportunities than what most people create right now. So that's a little thing that people could start doing straight away. So, like, for example, when I go on my LinkedIn every single day, I get into conversations with my networks and I find out, hey, are there any doors I can open for you right now? Is there anything I can do to help you right now? Hey, maybe we should jump on Zoom and see how we might be able to collaborate with each other. Right? That's the sort of conversations that you could be having. So don't see the people around you as your next sale. See them as opportunities to be able to actually grow your business. So by all means, come and hang out with me on our socials. Just look for Michael Griffiths on either on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, YouTube, Referral Marketing Guru. There's videos going up there all the time in terms of how to be able to leverage your networks better. And you can search leveragedconnections.com. And we've got free masterclasses, guides, a whole bunch of resources there that people can go and grab.
I love this topic. And then, Mike, is because I remember that when I started my first property business, we managed to sell over 5 million, right? And we were renting properties and fix them up, and then we will rent the rooms individually. And I remember that at some point we were managing like 30 properties, okay? But I didn't have 30 landlords, or we didn't got these 30 landlords. I think I only find five. The rest of the landlords, they were happy with the service, and they refer me, the brother, the people, and some of them, they were happy. They say, okay, I give you one more house. So I realized that this is when I started to understand the power of networking, right? That you sometimes you can have a big business, and you think that you have to do this job one to one, and to get everything at landlord and then all the clients, but it doesn't work like this. When you have the power of relationships, and you build that trust with that person that you're doing the business, what happens is that huge doors can open for you, right? And building that trust is all about, like you share, align to your values, create win-win situations, stick to your word, and but the possibilities are huge, and the entrepreneurs are out there trying to solve everything by themselves. They want to increase the sales. They want to maybe you need to partner with the right HR company that know how to hire people better than you. So you can bring the right people to your organization, and maybe you need a sales team or a sales company, or an outbound and inbound company that specialize in bringing you that sales and increase revenue. And by leveraging the expertise of all companies, you can grow. But sometimes in the mindset of the entrepreneur, is like you said, it's about me. And then you see that the business doesn't grow, and eventually they close and they go out of business. And so how you discovered that power, the power of the partnership? When was your aha moment? I know that, like you described before, you have several businesses, right? So, but where do you have this huge aha moment that you said, okay, I'm gonna build the business around this, because you can tell that you can help a lot of people by doing so. So, but when do you have the aha moment? What happened?
I think at the very beginning, and I feel like I had someone tell me this very early on in our first business, but every business I've had has always been the thinking of who has all of my clients, how can I team up with them to be able to add value to them. So if I think of, we had a tutoring business, and all of our clients were the local families around the area who had school-aged children. So we teamed up with a sporting association where they had 4,500 members. That gave me 4,500 families straight away. And so that grew very quickly. With the health product, it was like, I'm not going to go out and sell a health product to somebody one by one. So we teamed up with 400 plus, we had 400 plus personal trainers who would on-sell that health product to all of their clients. Their clients are already interested in getting healthier. So it makes easy sense for them to be able to on-sell that. Then with the skincare mineral makeup business, exactly the same thing, but with hairdressers, beauticians, makeup artists. So it's always sort of been entrenched in me in terms of, don't go and find the people yourself. Go and find the people who have your people. And now focus on teaming up, adding value, and finding ways that you can actually help each other. Because there's so many people out there who can bring you people that you just don't even know exist into your world. That's what we should be focusing on.
So give us an example. For example, this large sport association with all these members, and you guys, you are a small business. So what do you offer to those guys that they decide that was a good idea to do the partnership with you?
Yeah.
How you start this win-win situation? What do you have, even being a small business, what do you have that they need, and how you structure that deal, so they saw that, wow, this is good to introduce to all our people because it's helping us with XY.
Yeah. So so much of it starts with finding someone and actually deepening the relationship with them. So that was the first thing I did. I was actually down there watching some. I was teaching at the same time, so watching some of our kids play, and then just popped up to the person who was running that competition on that particular Friday night. Had a chat to them. They said, "Oh yeah, you need to speak to so and so." So I reached out to them. And we went and we had coffee and we just talked about the association and how much it had grown, and just pretty much asked questions and let them speak. And then I just simply shared what my vision was. I mean, oh, we might actually be able to. I think this is where people fall down. It's you have to plant the seed that it becomes their idea. And the way to be able to do that is just simply through the language that you use. So I'm like, not sure is that this is even something that is even possible. So when you start like that, the other person has to start thinking whether it's possible or not. So now straight away it's starting to become their idea, not your idea. So there's a lot of little tweaks with language that can become super powerful in being able to plant seeds and making things their idea. So it was something I'm not even sure if this is possible or something or anything. Like all these families might need help with their kids and some tutoring. Is there a way that we could team up where we might be able to help them, and we can sort of showcase the Netball Association and make sure that we put out your registrations when you've got registration day and share different things across our socials? Yeah, I'm not sure. Is there a way that we might be able to team up? That's how it started.
Wow,
and now,
amazing.
Yeah, and now they start planting ideas in their head. And before long, they're like, yeah, we actually don't have anyone that does what you do, sort of promoting to our families. And we always want to be able to add value to our families. And the more we can,
Absolutely.
maybe we give you 5-10 spots which you could use as prizes for your end of season awards and so forth. And it's like the thing which most people find really hard to understand. You have to just be good at making stuff up. Now, most businesses go, what do you mean make stuff up? I can't make stuff up. Like, I've got to be prepared. I've got to be well organized. I've got to be... No. Sometimes you just have to make stuff up on the spot. And
you have to be creative, right?
Yeah.
And it's this creativity what actually build the partnership, right?
Yeah, correct. So I think with every opportunity where we've teamed up with other people, it has started by finding out who's the person that I need the relationship with, meeting up with that person, just getting them to talk about them and what they've got going on and what they're doing, and just being quiet and listening, and then just throwing out an idea. And the idea always just starts with, Harry, I don't even know if this is a thing or if this is even possible or whether this is even something you'd like to even do or not. Here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then from there, you're going to share what you're thinking.
And then but for that, there is few things. I mean, there is a skill set that is involved, and I think the entrepreneurs out there have to be trained, right? Because the normal conversation that an entrepreneur will do when they find that person, they will go and say, look, this is my product. Can you offer it to your people? And this is not gonna go down well, but this is what everybody says, right? Without realizing exactly what you said, that if you allow this person to speak, before when you allow the person to speak and you only listen, by that conversation you will find out what they want. And as soon as you know what they want and what they need creatively, like you said, on the spot, you can create an idea that just Zig Ziglar said, you if in order for you to get what you want, you have to help others to get what they want.
Exactly.
And when you structure, when you're meeting these people, or before you say what you want, you have to uh, be open, keep up the conversation, alive, listen. So until you have ask questions, be friendly until you actually know what they really want, what really can help them. Once you know that, it's easier to make a proposal that you can engage a solid and strong partnership. And so this is the failure that people have out there, that it's also required a skill, Michael, right? Because it's a skill.
Yeah.
The more you practice, the better you become, right? And that's all when a coach and a mentor like you is really, really helpful. What are the message that you have for entrepreneurs out there that they say, well, I don't need any coach, I don't need any mentor, I will learn them by myself, and I don't need a mentor like Michael. I'll do it myself. What message do you have for people?
And perfect. But you need to keep learning every single day, because the day you stop learning is the day you stop growing, and that's the day that you're going backwards. I'm a true believer. You're either moving forwards or moving backwards. There is no standing still. You're either progressing or you're not. And if I look at each day, I want to learn something. And whether I've got a coach or a mentor, it doesn't matter. Just find something that's going to make you move forward and going to get you better. And whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Audible, whether it's a book, whether it's whatever it is, just keep learning and keep making yourself better, because then you're going to make your business better, you're going to serve your clients better, and you're going to make society better.
Yeah, and some entrepreneurs, they make the assumption that they have to do everything and they have to come out with the solution, everything. And it doesn't work like that. Sometimes when you surrender and you say, okay, I need help in this area, finding the right partnership could be, especially in the startups, it could be the difference between the company die or be alive. Yeah. Only
Yeah.
couple of partnerships will get you, will open the door for funding, will open the door for a lot of opportunity. But if you don't have these two partners, probably you die. Because that's how it is. That's the reality. And sometimes, is you people need to develop the skill, and the skill is, the more you practice, the better you become, right? So I think that Michael, this amazing partnership that you achieved, okay, didn't happen overnight. There is a skill, there is a process, there is a know-how, there is a technique that you guys have improved along the years in your life as an entrepreneur. And it makes sense for me as an entrepreneur to say, you know what, if I want more partnership, more strategic partnership in my organization, let me try to hire a coach, a mentor that help me to that can guide me, because the trial and error in business is expensive, very expensive. And sometimes you try and error, try and error, try and error, and sometimes you never find the solution. Can take you 20 years. So I think that in terms, and you've been a coach, from the sport, so you never you guys are very good in sport, Australia, right? And but in general, all over the world, every time that an athlete win a gold medal, the first thing that they say is thanks to my coach, right? This is the same. The first thing, that the people think that the coach is someone that is smarter than there, or I don't know what is the assumption that they have, but a coach is a person that will help you to achieve your goal. That's the main reason that is there. Is there to support you. Is there to. It's not gonna tell you what to do. It's going to help you to achieve the goal. And in the sports, this concept is wide open, right? And everyone that's practicing the sport, they're actively looking for coaches. No, I need a coach, I need someone that train me, right? But when it comes to entrepreneurship, some people, a large amount of entrepreneurs, especially those ones that are small and they're failing, they say, well, I don't need anybody to mentor me or coach him. I will do everything myself. I always say, a coach also need a coach or have a coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
In different areas, maybe you're a very good coach and in the partnership, right? But maybe you need a mentor in a health space or in the losing weight if you want to get skinnier, right? And so it's about opening the mentality. So why do you think, Michael, that in sports having a coach is very positive, is very embraced, and everybody understand it, and everybody actively looking for a coach, and everybody give credit and honor the coaches. But when we come to entrepreneurships, which is the same thing, it's achieve a goal, and it's about then we have different resistance when it comes.
It's a really good question.
The people we said, oh, Mike, strategic partnership, oh, too good to be true. Yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
So tell us, in your experience, what do you think that is the gap?
Yeah, no, it's a really good question. And whether, well, I haven't really thought too much about it deeply, but because you're spot on, like in the athletic world or in the sport world, you're used to having coaches. I suppose maybe because from when you were 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old playing sport, you had at that stage usually a mum or dad who was your coach. And then you knew you had to listen to your coach, and they organised the team and who was playing and who wasn't playing. And as you progressed, you got into coaches that were accredited. And maybe because in the sporting arena, you've got to become a level 1 coach, and then a level 2 coach, and then a level 3 coach, depending on how. So wow. It's ingrained in us as just growing up, where quite possibly, because it's not ingrained in us, it's an interesting one. I don't really have an answer for why people don't. I know for myself, if there is something I want to achieve, I will find a person who has achieved it and can speed up my results. And I'm always like that. At the moment, I have a coach as I train for a CrossFit World Championships, and there's no way I would do that by myself. There's no way I would even know what to do. What's the strength work? What's the endurance work? What's the where I've seen them do it for decades. I've seen them win at it. They know exactly how to prepare for it. So why would I make it up and try to just fumble through going, oh, if I do a bit of this or I do a bit of that, versus just going, hey, I need you to hold my hand and tell me what to do each step of the way. And that's the mentality. So I suppose it maybe having more of that sort of mentality is what's missing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. And for this podcast, we interview a lot of multi-millionaires, and I have one interview once with one of them, and he told me, he has exited more than 40 companies. He's a guy, serial entrepreneur, and he was living in Colorado. He said, well, Harry, I moved to Colorado, and I didn't know anything about property investment, and now after 2 years, I have a large portfolio here in Colorado, and I asked him, wow, but how you managed to do that? And he said, well, easy. I find a coach and I paid them a lot of money to teach me how to do property. And after 2 years, that's it. He told me I didn't know anything about property and everything, but because it's an entrepreneur, a very successful entrepreneur, he understands that, okay, if I want to do this business, step number one, let me hire a mentor, let me hire someone that teach me, yeah? And then from that space, I applied my same business. There is an entrepreneur in UK, Richard Branson, right? And he has a lot of coaches to dissipate. People said that the chaos, that he always have this idea, but he has a lot of people supporting him. And I think that when it comes to success and when it comes to achieving goal, the mentality and the mindset of the successful people, they always understand that, okay, if I want to achieve this goal, step number one, I need to find a mentor, I need to find a coach that have achieved this goal, that have experience. I learn from them and then I apply it. Yeah. But this is the minority have this mentality. The 80% of the entrepreneurs, or maybe larger portion, they have the mentality, okay, I don't need to learn from anybody. I will figure out everything by myself. And this is painful, it's expensive, and it's the possibility that you never find the solution, because we have issues that that if we don't ask for help and in our businesses, I don't think that we will ever solve it, because we can run a business. You need to know a lot of things and to have the right people around. Yeah. So Michael, tell us, if somebody's inspired by this conversation and resonate with what you are sharing with us here today, how they can find you, how they can partner up with you, how the process works, and how they can find you. Tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, the easiest way is just to go to Leveraged Connections, so leveragedconnections.com. And from there, you can find everything that you're going to need, including how to get in touch and how to make sure that you can reach out and be in our world.
Wow, that's fantastic. Michael, thank you so much. I think that it was really powerful what you shared today. And for all of entrepreneurs listening this broadcast in our social media or in YouTube and Apple, remember what Michael shared today, right? And strategic partnership, especially if you are in a startup or and you need market validation and you try to get your product market fit, this strategic partner, a couple of strategic partners can open the world for you big time, and we'll open the door not only for your company to grow, but also help you with the funding, with investors, because now you have clients that you serve in that product. So it's one of the fastest way to grow your business. And as long as the more the entrepreneurs out there develop this skill and start to look, so which is my strategic partner, who has my same client base, but it doesn't compete with me, the possibilities are endless. So thank you so much, Michael, for your voice of wisdom. Yeah, it's been a pleasure and really interesting, because honestly, not too many people talk about it, and it's really powerful what you do. So thank you so much. And for you guys following the podcast, see you in our next broadcast of Unstoppable: How Brave Entrepreneurs like Michael break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Thank you all.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.